Over the course of this chapter, we're going to create the seamlessly repeating patterns that you see on screen here. And we're going to do so based on a handful of spirals. But before I show you how to make the pattern, I need to show you how to make the spirals because these are not everyday average spirals that you draw using the spiral tool. Instead, they're linear spirals that you create using the polar grid tool. So I've got this file here. We'll switch over to the layers panel. And you can see this is the logarithmic spiral that you can make using the standard spiral tool that we saw way back in chapter 4 of the fundamentals course. However, as you may recall, tool's a little bit difficult to predict. And there's a very strong possibility that this kind of spiral you want to create is a linear spiral like this one here, in which each one of these coils here is equidistant from the other. So let me show you how that works. I've got this drawing layer on top, and it's currently blank. I'll go ahead and click and hold on the line tool and then select the polar grid tool from the flyout menu. And because I want to create this shape from the center out, I'm going to press Control U or Command U on the Mac in order to turn on my smart guides. Your smart guides might already be on. And I'm going to Alt click or Option click right there in the center of my artboard to bring up the polar grid tool options dialog box. Now, for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to set the width and height values to 500 points apiece. You definitely want them to be the same value, whatever it's going to be. And I want 9 concentric dividers and then 0 radial dividers. Radial dividers, you may recall, results in spokes, and those aren't going to contribute anything to our spiral. And I should say, if you want a tighter spiral with a lot more segments to it, then you want to go ahead and increase the concentric dividers number. But this is going to work well for us. I'll go ahead and click OK in order to create that series of concentric circles. The next thing you want to do is go up to the object menu and choose the Ngroup command, or press Ctrl-Shift-G or Command-Shift-G on the Mac, and then go back up to the object menu and choose the command again, or press the keyboard shortcut again. So you'll have to do it twice in a row in order to get rid of all the grouping that's going on inside of this object. And then you might just go ahead and twirl open a layer and confirm that you don't have any groups left. In my case, I don't. You should also see, by the way, the word path on the far left side of the control panel. I'm going to increase my stroke value to 3 points, like so. All right, now I'm going to press Control-U or Command-U on the Mac to turn off my smart guides. And then I'm going to press the A key to switch to the wide arrow tool. And what you want to do is marquee all of these bottom points. So just the bottom points. You don't want any of the left or right-hand points or the top points. But you do want every single one of the bottom ones. So go ahead and marquee them like so, and then press Control-X or Command-X on the Mac in order to cut them to the clipboard, and then press Control-F or Command-F on the Mac in order to paste them in front. And depending on the direction of your spiral, you want to either move the points inward or outward, but in any case, they need to snap into alignment with the point next door. So you just want to drag from a point over to the next point so that you end up with this effect here. And you can see now we already have 2 interwoven spirals now. All right, let's merge things together by pressing Control-A or Command-A on the Mac, and then press Control-J or Command-J on the Mac in order to join all of our lines. Now, we don't want this central join right there. We don't want that segment. So go ahead and click off the shape to deselect it. Click on that segment with the wide arrow in order to select it independently of all the other segments, and press the backspace key or the delete key on the Mac in order to separate the 2 spirals from each other. And how do I know that they're 2 spirals? Well, because if you click off and then just Alt-click or Option-click on one of them, and we can even change the color of the stroke to something like CMYK red here, and now it's pretty obvious that we've got 2 spirals to choose from. And notice that this spiral is looping in a counterclockwise direction from the center out. If you wanted it to loop in the opposite direction, you just would have moved your points to the left instead of to the right. All right, now just to see how well these spirals match the ones that I created, I'm going to press the V key in order to get my black arrow tool, and I'll go ahead and click on this red spiral in order to select it. Then I'll press Control-C or Command-C on the Mac, and we'll go back to the bluish spirals.ai file. I'm going to select this guy right here and just get rid of him for the moment. We're going to recreate him in the next movie. And then I'll press Control-F or Command-F on a Mac in order to paste that guy into place. Now, obviously, he's way too big, and I need to move him so he snaps into alignment with this guy's point right there. So it's the beginning point of the larger blue spiral. And we obviously need a round cap. So I'll click on the word stroke up here in the control panel and change the cap setting to round cap like so. And next, what we want to do is grab the scale tool, just so that we can match everything up here, and I'll Alt-click or Option-click on that central point right there to bring up the scale dialog box. And I'm going to set the uniform value to 25.5%. Press the Tab key, click OK. And now I'll do the same thing for the rotate tool. Alt-click or Option-click on that same point, set the angle value to 65 degrees, click OK. And you can see now that we've got an absolute dead match. So just in case you're interested, that's how you go about creating a linear spiral in which every single one of these coiling segments is equidistant from its neighbors using the Polar Grid tool here inside Illustrator.